The resurgence of crime in most urban centers continues to disrupt not just the business environment but also pose a risk to the lives of many Kenyans out here. Now this far, the government led by the President William Ruto has brought forth some recommendations on how to address this particular bottleneck. But even before we get to unpack some of them, let's look at some, or rather the order of this problem that we are facing currently. And as usual, my name is Richard Mwenje, such an honor and privilege to have you on such an informative and insightful edition of Business Glide, your number one show on matters public policy. And with me is the only name in matters public policy, conversations, and the world of politics, Herman Manyora.
Thank you, Richard. Where have you been, man?
I have been away for a week for vacation.
Vacation.
And I'm coming back finding you donning these spectacles, and you literally resemble the Kenya Air Force commander, Mugaravayo Menda.
Yes, I think.
Are you two brothers?
We are brothers.
Really? Yes. But they say success has many fathers, but poverty is an orphan, failure is an orphan. Are you trying to be one of those people?
Yeah.
All right, sir. And by the way, there are these conversations that due to public demand we literally have to have on this particular edition of Business Glide. We've seen the resurgence of crime in urban centers, most notably in Nairobi. But people are picking issue with us politicizing it all. And they are actually castigating Raila Odinga, the Azimio leader, for saying that this government is flirting with lawlessness, and he's also saying that us questioning the disbanded special service unit and former DCI George Kinoti is just settling political scores that were in there. Would you say that we've dropped the fight with regard to insecurity when we started politicizing the matters with security?
When a week or so ago, I said the people are talking about crime going up. And I made an appeal to the police. I told them, listen, Raila is well protected and guarded and secured. Ruto is well guarded and secured. Don't abandon your brothers and sisters. I made an appeal to the police. At that time, I said I wasn't sure that what people were saying about crime was true. Of course, it was on people's lips, social media. But now we have it on authority from government itself, that there is increase in crime, especially violent crime. So it is sad that that's the situation. What was my point then? And in response to your question, my point was, when you take over power, the temptation to deal with your enemies is always there. By all means, go ahead. Although I also advise in a general way, revenge never helps anybody. But you can reorganize. So let's say when you take over government, you reorganize government. But we have a constitution that has put certain people in office in a manner you just can't wake up and remove them. But we have seen attempts to remove those people.
I see.
Through coercion, through intimidation. Then there has been this thing of taking action against certain pockets within the security sector. That includes the disbandment of the SSAU, that includes prosecuting the police. I warned, and I said, on matters of security, I warned Raila, and I warned Ruto. I told Ruto, even if you must act, be careful how you act. Then I told Raila, even if you must criticize Ruto for acting in a certain manner in issues of security, do so careful. I would rather you even talk to him as a person. Now you see what they have created.
I see.
You know, if you have a tiff with somebody, and somebody close to them comes, maybe we are young people, we were fighting as young people. Then the bigger brother of your opponent comes. Your opponent goes hysterical. So that is what Raila will be doing to pump hysteria into the security sector. Because Ruto is trying to punish or to make certain moves that may be seen to be punitive within the security sector.
I see.
Raila comes to criticize and creates the hysteria. You know, so I warned them, the two of them. This is dangerous.
All right.
I hope the two of them can now listen to me because it's obvious. Government service admitting there's increase in crime. We must not allow that to happen. No.
Moving on swiftly, sir, we have seen a number of Kenyans have the feel that the Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, has always been in constant friction with the National Police Service. And year in, year out, we are seeing this particular body being pumped in with billions of Kenya shillings to the tunes of quite a heavy amount of money from the budget to service the operational and recurrent expenditure. Do you ever feel like many Kenyans that it is time IPOA be disbanded and probably that money be made to mitigate drought or be channeled to other areas of government interest?
In fact, that friction will be in the interest of the public. It will be why it was created. But IPOA is a toothless bulldog. It should go away.
A toothless, you say?
It should just go. What have they ever done? Actually, if the president had wanted to handle this issue of extrajudicial killings,
yeah.
it should have been through IPOA, if it was functional. It is IPOA that will give it a cloth of respectability and genuineness. Through IPOA, get those police you have taken to court. Let it be IPOA doing all that. Investigations, blah, 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 blah. Then take them through the process that was envisaged in the law. And then even if they were to end up in court, that will be okay. But if you quickly pounce on them and take them to court, indeed they could be wrong. I mean, human life, my friend, if you have been associated with the death of a human being, we shouldn't have mercy on you. But I'm saying there is also the politics about it, you must understand.
All right.
Yeah.
I've had a number of conversations with a number of police officers serving in Nairobi in here, and they say they have been equipped with these guns and they know when to use it because they have gone and learned about when and how to use the gun. But then again, the civil society is always on their neck. You talk of Amnesty International and also IPOA, the very same independent body that is to provide oversight and also defend them when they have done their duties right. How then can we censor just how far the civil society can go in terms of bringing in information about the police and their conduct and execution of their duties?
I think we are mixing two things here. We are mixing two things. And I've heard, I think the minister talk about it. I've heard the new IG, Inspector General of Police, talk about it. And I've heard a number of people talk about this thing. But there's need to draw a clear distinction between legitimate use of force by the police and extrajudicial killings. We seem to be mixing the two. It has never been in dispute. It has never been a subject of debate that the police can kill you, shoot you. Even the Constitution envisages those kind of situations. Look, it has never been in dispute. It can never be a subject of debate anywhere in the world that if you resist arrest and you are armed and you are likely to harm the police or others, the police will shoot you. I mean, why are they discussing something that has completely no room for discussion? What people are talking about is extrajudicial killings. You get somebody, bundle him in a Land Rover or Land Cruiser, take him to some forest and shoot him. That's different.
Rivayala.
And throw him in Rivayala. That's a different story. I also do not, as a fact, believe all those bodies were from extrajudicial killings or by the police. Because somebody has to prove to me that's the case. So those two, we must distinguish the two. So civil society must be following this idea where police kill people. But there has been some explanation despite the fact that you cannot explain away murder, cold-blooded murder. There have been people who have said, for example, you arrest people, criminals, you take them to the police, you take them to court, tomorrow you see them in the streets. You arrest people, you take them, they are given very good bail terms. They commit other murders. The police get fed up and they shoot them. There have been cases of that nature. During the 1970s and I think 80s, there was a man called Patrick Shaw. Legend has it that he will tell you, look, young man, where do you come from? You come from CIS, OTC, Panda OTC, he in your fare. If you remain in this Nairobi, I'll kill you. Then the guy goes and comes back. Then Patrick Shaw. Those are stories we hear.
I see.
Whether they were true or not, they're stories. So police sometimes find themselves in those we hear. But we have also seen a witness with my eyes where criminals have been arrested, they are on the ground, and the police can also, because maybe they are too notorious. So it's a whole mixed bag of things. But
I see.
What civil society and anybody like me and you should do is to please, just as human beings, plead with anybody, please, do not even imagine of taking away somebody's life.
All right.
Human life
is sacred.
Please. That whatever somebody has done, whatever they have done, don't go for their life. Because if you find an elephant, a bull or an elephant on its own, not in a herd, and if you check well, it is like crying, chances are it has killed somebody. And that's why if you make an elephant kill you for provocation, it will step on you. Why? It knows it has done a bad thing and it will be crying. Human life is not anything you want to play around with. And I have seen people who have killed people, they are never normal again. You don't be cheated, you are a policeman. You go and bundle a human being from some corner, take him some forest, shoot him, throw him in a river. You will never be a human being. Never.
Even with money
Even
at your
policemen.
disposal?
I've seen policemen. You can't. You can never kill a human being. You know, in the line of duty, yes. An accident, yes. Even an accident. Killing human blood is bad. So I only advise people, do not attempt and do not be cheated to by anybody. Even if you are a poor junior police officer. Ambia huyo mkubwa, wacha niwache kazi ya polisi, wacha niende kula tabu. I don't kill anybody.
I see.
But as a country, we must put in place, and this has been suggested to us. There was a UN mission here, and this guy was called what? Ariston or somebody. A rapporteur on police something, extrajudicial killings and this kind of things. There's a wonderful report. I think it's by Ariston or somebody like that. I've forgotten him. Very wonderful report. If we implement some of the suggestions, if we institutionalize some of the things, if we create institutions and empower those institutions, get modern surveillance equipment, we should minimize, if not eradicate completely, issues of extrajudicial killing. So that is bad, but not to confuse it with the right the police have to shoot you.
Sticking to that front, sir, we've seen your friend, former Rift Valley Regional Commissioner, now the Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya, actually say that parading the SSU officers who are serving under the DCI in Kinotti's regime is actually like the police force shooting themselves on the leg, because it is somewhat demoralizing the other police officers who are still in the barracks and the police stations. Do you say that could have been a subtle way to address them instead of parading them in the court of public shame?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, because the police are very, you know, before you deal with the police, before you disband that unit, and it is not the first one, there was Kweke and others before that. Before you vilify the director of DCI, Kinotti and the rest of the people, before you take those guys to court, know what the police are going through. The police work under very difficult conditions. In fact, we need to begin paying the police and taking care of them well. The conditions under which the police work. So after all that, they see you mishandling one of their own, they feel very bad.
But then again,
because the conditions under which the police, look, and these are things we can do things about. A body is reported found somewhere, in whatever condition, maybe messy because of accident, maybe not one body, maybe rotten, found in a room or whatever. The police go there and it is thrown in the same Land Rover, the same Land Cruiser with them. They enter. How traumatic can it get more dramatic than that? As a country, are we not able to have a homicide division? That when the police are going on such a scene, they go as police in their vehicle, then there is a vehicle special for people trained to handle bodies. We can do these things. So with all this trauma the police go through, with all the sacrifice that they make for us, if you must punish one of their own, you need to do so after very thorough investigation and very carefully, so that it does not come out as punitive.
But then again, a few days ago, we've seen the president flagged by the Interior CS Kithure Kindiki. They have actually dangled the welfare carrot to the police force. But then again, this is something that has been there even when the sitting president served as the DP, whereby they were promised welfare enhancement in terms of affordable housing, in terms of remuneration being checked once again. This time round, could it be the usual double speak from now the President William Ruto, or this time round with Kindiki in there, you have some sort of confidence that those are bottlenecks that will be addressed?
Let me tell you, and I'm telling anybody in power for free, If you want to do something, just do it.
No press conferences?
Do it. So long as you are within the confines of the law. Do it. If it requires legislation or administrative measure or cloth, go ahead and do it. If you feel the police are so badly paid, as I believe, if you believe the police need housing, we have tried to spend billions and put up useless houses for the police. Just say, my government, I will not be president in a country where the police earn 20,000 shillings or 30,000 shillings.
With torn boots?
I say the police, like in other countries, will be well paid. And I say, if a poor country like Namibia, Botswana, an African country like South Africa, whatever, if they can pay their policemen the equivalent of 80,000 shillings, why can't we pay 100? As the president, and I'm saying that's the beginning. And then you set in motion the process of making that have the legal seal.
Framework and all that.
Not just to talk. Talking, everybody can talk. Anybody can talk.
But even before we get to the huge task that is upgrading their remuneration with the constrained fiscal space that the country is facing right now, don't you think it is far much noble for us to start with the little missteps in there? Like you've seen police all over the place, torn uniforms, torn boots. Some of them are actually even recycling some of the uniforms. That we start even from those little ones that we can easily achieve. Those are simple things.
And it has been known and proved elsewhere, starting with nursing. When you give this, when you make this a central project of providing uniform, it becomes a tender problem. It becomes an eating avenue. The nursing Ministry of Health has done it differently. They give people uniform allowance and they buy. There can be better ways than saying the government will procure all the police uniform and they are in. You know, Matiang'i really helped us by having this thing done by NYS and something like that. But ultimately, you need to have a better way of doing it to remove the shame we see and so on and so forth. It has to be done better.
That makes me understand the missing link between the precision in which KDF takes its duties and actual welfare of its soldiers with the police force. Because even the basic, like now the kitting and just replenishing their hardware, what's the missing link there in with regards to it?
You see, the military is known for seriousness. Something that is killing this country. We don't have seriousness anywhere in government. From OP down to any department of government. The missing link is seriousness. And that's where the military beats us. The military are serious with everything they do. Everything.
Nothing
People were surprised when Moi died. The parade they saw. The precision. When you hear military precision, it is exactly that. Literally that.
Highest degree.
People are saying, is this Kenya? Is this Kenya? They will be there at 9. So the military, huwezi kupeleka ujinga. And I hope Duale, my friend Duale, I hope he will not try to kupeleka hii mambo ya tenda prunua kwa jeshi. They do their things with seriousness. If it's about uniform, they approach it with seriousness. If it's about procurement, they procure their things with seriousness.
Health cover for the soldiers.
Just hope there will be no minister like Duale who will try to take the usual Kenyan way.
The fake generals.
They will not allow you. The military will not allow you, even if you are the minister.
All right.
You go and tell them, no, haka katenda sasa, haka tupeleke isili. You will know those generals, they will tell you off. The seriousness with which the military approach their affairs is what makes them different from the police and anybody else.
All right.
And it's not difficult for us to inject the seriousness in government, in police. We can do that.
It can happen?
Why not?
It only takes the will.
The will of one man.
At the office that you want to go in 2027?
Yeah.
All right, as we just wrap up it all together, we've seen a number of Kenyans, in as much as comparison is a thief of joy, they're actually comparing the former Interior CS Matiang'i and the current Kithure Kindiki. In as much as just a few days into office, Matiang'i was so used with issuing stern warnings, which he actually followed up on. Kithure Kindiki is more of a person, soft-spoken, more of a suggestive person, full of suggestions. Do you think that will work in his favor? He actually has to change tacks.
That is his style. I don't know. He hasn't worked. I will not say because he's small in body, soft-spoken with a soft voice, because he doesn't look tough, he's not a giant like Matiang'i. I cannot use such a stupid parameters on an individual. There are better ways of judging a man than his body size or his voice. Granted, if you read on leadership, the understanding of a leader until recently, the classical view of who a leader is, commanding voice, huge body, serious presence, that was a leader. But that has since changed. Kithure Kindiki can run this docket mpaka mubaki mkinyamaza. But again, Inspector General Kome, Kithure Kindiki, I'm not giving you much. I'm not expecting much from you. When the first Inspector General was put in place, I appeared on a BBC program, and we are talking about security and IG. I said, if I am the one who becomes the Inspector General of Police, on Monday, I'm sworn in at 10. Everybody will know there's an Inspector General. The criminals in Nairobi will know there's an Inspector General.
I see.
If I become Inspector General of Police today, effective midnight of today, which is whatever day it is, you will walk in Nairobi with your phone the whole night. I only need to command the regional commander. I tell them you command your OCPDs. Who will command the OCS? Who will command the people manning the streets? If there is mugging in the street, Moy Avenue, that part you are covering, you go home. There will be no mugging. If I'm the Inspector General, I can see there is not much hope. Because you must show from the word go that is not business as usual. Those shops which are a conduit for stolen mobile phones, I will tell the DCI people, I'm giving you 24 hours to dismantle those shops and have those people arrested. Because the exhibit is there.
Bring insanity in
they
the
have
business
all
environment.
the stolen. You can't steal a phone. Those people who steal phones on matatus, they steal because there's market for them, where they are being flashed.
Ready market.
Yeah, I just tell DCI, tell your boys, hizo maduka watu washikwe wote na hizo masimu zao within 7 days.
And they revoke their business licenses.
You'll use your phone in the streets of Nairobi midnight at 2, anywhere, including River Road and Grogan, and if I'm the Inspector General.
I see.
But that will come out on day 1. So my advice to Professor Kindiki, don't just talk. Let people know there's a new sheriff in town.
A new sheriff in town, indeed. Well, there you have it from the authoritative voice that is Herman Manyora, an expert by excellence in matters public policy and matters political analysis. Time for Fun of the Week. It is none other than this lady from Nairobi here, Victoria John.
Victoria?
John.
John. Wonderful, Victoria John. Wonderful, and thank you for being part of us.
All right, until next time on Business Glide, my name is Richard Mwenje. Such a pleasure to always have you keep us company. Up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day.